Hello, dear children, and all the adults with that little child in you. This is a story about Putti and the best gift in the whole world. Putti was a 8-year-old girl who lived by the edge of a forest, not like Shobha Forest you. This was a big forest with big wild animals in it. One day she was playing with her friends when her grandmother called her. Putti, come home soon. Enough of your playing. You have a surprise at home. Putti said, no, I'm not coming. I have to finish my games. So her granny said, would you want to be the last one to see your baby brother? As soon as she heard this, she ran home and she took care of the tiny little baby and she hugged him and she took care of him. After a few days, all the villagers and all their friends and all the relatives came to visit the child. And everyone bought a gift. Tiny ones, small ones, big ones, very big ones. Some gave clothes, some gave rattles, some gave bottles and flannels. Putti thought, Ayyo, I'm so silly. I never got a gift for my brother. I will go get the best gift. So she immediately ran out and asked her friends, what is the best gift I can buy for my brother? Her friends said, we are only 8-year-old. I don't know what gift you can buy. So she further went into the forest and asked the tallest land animal, giraffe, what is the best gift you can give to one in this world? The giraffe said, I know only the tallest acacia trees. I don't know what is the best gift. So she further went inside and she asked her best buddy, the biggest land animal, elephant. This elephant had seen her as a child. So she scooped her in her trunk and put her on the back and asked Putti, you seem to be restless. Why are you running here and there? So Putti asked, do you know answer to my question? So the elephant thought, I know answers to everything. I'm as old as earth and my memory is very good. Ask me any question. I will answer. So Putti asked, what is the best gift in this whole world? So elephant scratched its head, of course with the trunk, and said, I don't know answer to this one question, but I know for all the other questions. Why don't you ask something else? So Putti said, no, I want to find that answer. I'll go ask somebody else. So she went and asked other animals. And finally, she met the king of the jungle, lion, taking a nap under a tree. Lion, do you know what is the best gift in this whole world? Lion roared and said, I only know where to find the best food for myself. Go ask somebody else. It shooed her away. So Putti asked a few other animals and she suddenly felt cold. She looked around. It was already dark and she didn't know which way to go back home. And she started crying and she missed her mama and her granny. And she slept under a tree, weeping. Next day morning, she heard somebody calling, Putti, Putti. She realized it was her papa. She ran to her papa. She hugged him and she said, I'm so sorry, papa. I will never do this again. I am very sorry, papa. Please don't scold me. Papa said, you silly girl. First stop crying. Have this banana. You must be very hungry, right? So he asked, what happened? Why did you come so deep in the forest? So Putti said, everybody was giving gift to my baby brother, even I wanted to give. So I was asking everybody, which is the best gift in this whole world? And nobody answered. So Papa said, you silly. You should have asked me. The best gift one can give is the gift of love. she's like, where do I find love? How much does it cost? So Papa said, you can never buy love. You can only give it. Like, you can take care of your brother. You can take care of him morning till evening. You can give him bath. You can feed him. You can play with him. And when he grows older, you can teach him all the good things, And the best thing about this gift is, you can keep giving throughout your life. And throughout his life, he can keep collecting this gift. Isn't it the best gift? She's like, I already have it. Come, let's go home. And she quickly climbed on her father's shoulders. And they went home. And she kept on sharing this best gift called love to everyone in this whole world. And of course, the second best thing nowadays is to give time. I think we have enough of love and time to give to our loved ones, to unite all of us. Thank you.
Hari all. I am Anya. Today I am going to be narrating Govardhana Hill story and how Krishna as a little boy lifted it with his little finger. So let me begin this story. Once upon a time, the villagers, king, queen of Vrindavan were getting ready for the puja. Krishna was curious what the villagers and his father and mother were doing. He called his father and asked him, "Oh father, why are we worshipping Lord Indra?" His father told him, "Oh son, we are worshipping Lord Indra so he can bless us with rain." Krishna was not convinced. So he said, "Father, we are not supposed to be worried about what we are going to get. After all, it is karma. Moreover, not Indra but Govardhana Hill, who is giving us these great rains and harvests. Therefore, we should worship Govardhana Hill instead of Indra." The villagers are convinced. So, along with Krishna, the villagers went and headed towards Govardhana Hill to worship. Indra, seeing this, was furious and angrily said, "I will teach the people of Vrindavan a lesson." He caused heavy rains and thunderstorms to destroy the village of Vrindavan. But that could not stop Krishna from helping them. Krishna decided to help the people of Vrindavan, and he broke the ground and lifted Mount Govardhan with his little finger. The villagers brought their cattle and belongings under the hill for 7 days. Then Indra realized, "Oh, Krishna is no match for me. I should go apologize to him." When Indra went to apologize to Krishna, he said, "Oh Lord Krishna, I beg your forgiveness." Krishna said, "Oh Indra, you have been blinded by your pride and arrogance. But I had to teach you this lesson. Still, I forgive you." Thus, little Krishna helped and saved his villagers from the rains caused by Indra using Govardhana Hill. Okay guys, tell me. There is a moral to every story, right? So what is the moral to this story? The moral to this story is ego, hatred, pride and arrogance can only invite suffering. Therefore, Krishna poem Himali ki choti se. I'm 5-year-old, I'm Aris. So, now I will start singing. आज हिमालय की चोटी से फिर हमने ललकारा है. आज हिमालय की चोटी फिर हमने ललकारा है. दूर हटो, दूर हटो, दूर हटो, दूर हटो, हिंदुस्तान हमारा है. दूर हटो, दूर हटो, हिंदुस्तान हमारा है. हिमालय की चोटी पे हमने ललकारा है. दूर हटो, दूर हटो, हिंदुस्तान हमारा है. दूर हटो, दूर हटो, हिंदुस्तान हमारा है. हिमालय की चोटी से फिर हमने ललकारा है. दूर हटो, दूर हटो, हिंदुस्तान हमारा है. Hello, my name is Ameya and I am 10 years old. I live in 4183 and today I will be telling a story using this whiteboard. So once upon a time there was a village. This village had different parts. All the people in these parts never came together. They all were fighting against each other. They never became friends and they were just arguing with each other. And like that, all the parts had their own cultivation. Like this part had growing of fruits and vegetables, this part had paddy fields, and this part had cornfields. So like that, one day a wild animal came and attacked one of the places. These people got so frightened, they were trying to kill this animal but they couldn't. They didn't even ask help from the other places. So this animal came and attacked other places. But still, these people also didn't ask or tell anybody for help. So this animal started attacking everywhere. And then they all thought, we all need to come together and become friends and then only we can kill this animal. So they all came together, became friends and killed this animal. And then they all became friends and lived happily ever after. Like this, the whole world is suffering from coronavirus. So all the countries need to come together and fight this virus away. Unity in diversity is the best. Thank you. Independence Day is on 15th August and that's holiday too. And I will tell national flag. A top band is saffron and the white one is for peace and it has Ashok Chakra and the green one is for a growth and a national and the national bird is peacock and the national animal is a tiger and the national lotus is lotus. And I will quote a few lines about Rabindranath Tagore. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where world is not broken into narrow domestic walls. The world is of the depth of truth. To that heaven, my Father, let my country awake. Thank you.
My name is Sirishma and today I'm going to do a poem on unity in diversity. We are one, together we run, supporting each other like sisters, like brothers. United we stand, tied by a band. Diverse is our India, Christians, Hindus, Muslims, though we differ from cultures or clothes. United we stand, tied by a band. We are friends, let us make amends, support each other like sisters, like brothers. Every state is beautiful, let us keep them cleanful. So, come, let's see the unity in diversity. Like this coronavirus has separated us from our beloved friends and families. But if we stay united, we can overcome anything. So, let us keep our differences aside, join hands and beat coronavirus. Thank you.
ಕರೋನಾದಿಂದ ಲಾಲ್ಬಾಗ್ನ ತೊಳಲು. ಇದನ್ನು ಬರೆದಿರೋದು ನಾನೇ, ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಆರ್ ಅಂತ. ಲಾಲ್ಬಾಗ್ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲಿನ ರಸ್ತೆಗಳು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತವೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಯಾಕೋ ಬಿಕೋ ಅನಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಬೋರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಕಾರ್ಗಳು, ದ್ವಿಚಕ್ರ ವಾಹನಗಳು ಬಂದು ನಿಲ್ತಿದ್ವು ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ. ಮುಂಜಾನೆ ಆದರೆ 100 ಕಾಲುಗಳಿಗೆ ನೆಲೆ ಆಗಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಈಗ ಊಟವೇ ಇಲ್ದ ಹಾಗಾಗಿದೆ ನನಗೆ. ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಈ ಕಾಲುಗಳಿಗೆ?
ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಗಿಡ, ಮರ, ಹುಲ್ಲುಹಾಸು, ಬೆಂಚು, ಲೈಟ್ ಕಂಬಗಳು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನೋಡೋಣವಾ? ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಬೇರೆಯ ತರಹದ ಬೇಸರವೇ. ದಿನ ಅದೆಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೇಮಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಆಸರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತಿದ್ದೆವು ನಾವು. ಪ್ರೇಮಕ್ಕೆ, ಜಗಳಕ್ಕೆ, ವಾದ ವಿವಾದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ತರಹ ಇರುಸುಮುರುಸು. ಏನಾಯಿತು ಈ ಪ್ರೇಮಿಗಳಿಗೆ? ನಾವು ಬೇಡವಾದ್ವೇ ಅವರಿಗೆ?
ಲಾಲ್ಬಾಗ್ನ ಗುಡ್ಡ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ಗುಡ್ಡ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಂದರೆ, ಸಾವಿರಾರು ವರ್ಷ ವಯಸ್ಸಾದ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ಥರ ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಎವರೆಸ್ಟೇ ಹತ್ತಿ ಸಾಧಿಸಿದ್ವಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫೋಟೋ ತೊಗೋತಿದ್ರು. ಕೆಲವರು ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಕರಗಿಸೋರು, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬಿಸಿಲು ಕಾಯಿಸೋರು, ಆಕಾಶ ನೋಡೋರು, ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವರು. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ್ರು ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ?
ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಕೋತಿ, ನಾಯಿ, ಅಳಿಲು, ಪಾರಿವಾಳ ಮತ್ತಿತರ ಪಕ್ಷಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂದರೆ, ದಿನಾಗಲೂ ಜನ ಬಂದು ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಹಣ್ಣು, ತರಕಾರಿ, ಕಾಳುಗಳನ್ನ ಹಾಕ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ನಮಗೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ತುಂಬಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತನೋ ಅಥವಾ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಪಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತನೋ. ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೆಲವರು ನಾವು ತಿನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಫೋಟೋ ತೆಗೆದುಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಏನಾಯಿತು ಈ ಮಂದಿಗೆ? ಯಾಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ?
ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಇರೋ ಎಮ್ ಟಿ ಆರ್ ಹೋಟೆಲ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ಅನಿಸ್ತಂದರೆ, ನನಗೂ ಲಾಲ್ಬಾಗು ಇರೋ ನಂಟು ಭಾಳ ಹಳೇದು. ಒಬ್ರನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ನಾವು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಲಾಲ್ಬಾಗ್ ಮರೆತು ಜನ ನನ್ನನ್ನಂತೂ ಮರೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಈಗ ಎರಡೂ ಮರ್ತ ಹಾಗಾಗಿದೆ. ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಜನಜಂಗುಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಗಲಾಟೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಪಿಸು ಮಾತಿಲ್ಲ, ತಟ್ಟೆ ಲೋಟಗಳ ಶಬ್ದ ಇಲ್ಲ, ತುಪ್ಪದ ಘಮ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಫಿಯ ಸ್ವಾದ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಂಥರ ನಿರಾಳ ಮೌನ. ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಈ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ?
ಹೀಗಾದಾಗ ಇವುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಜನರಲ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಂತೆ. ಆ ಸಭೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮನುಕುಲ ಅಳಿವಿನಂಚಿನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತಿದೆ, ಇದಕ್ಕೇನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಮಾನವರನ್ನು ಎಂಡೇಂಜರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಪೀಷೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಿ ಅವರನ್ನು ಕಾಪಾಡುವ ಒಂದು ಯೋಜನೆ ಹಾಕಿಕೊಂಡಿದೆಯಂತೆ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
And Diversity, a poem by Charles Benefield. I am present in every place you go. Depending on your lens, I am friend or foe. I am a force to be reckoned with. Like the winds of change I move, I am swift. I am present when two or more are together. If embraced, I can make the good even better. I am not limited to age, gender or race. I am invisible at times and yet all over the place. Don't exclude me due to lack of knowledge. Welcome me like the recruit fresh out of college. Let me take my seat at the table even though I may be differently able. My experience, my passion, the authentic me can help add value for your company. Learn about me, improve my underrepresentation, and I can provide a competitive edge to your entire nation. I exclude no one, I am strengthened by all. My name is Diversity, and yes, I stand tall. Recognize me and keep me in the mix together. There's no problem that we can't fix. I'm your best hope towards true innovation, and to many, I reflect hope and inspiration. Your lives and companies will continue to change. Thus, the need for diversity and inclusion will also remain. Do all that you can to truly embrace me and experience life's fullness totally. I'm the thought lurking behind the unfamiliar face. I'm the ingenuity that helps your team win the race. I'm the solution that came from the odd question that was asked. I stand out in the crowd when diversity, am allowed to be unmasked. I'm diversity, embrace me. And we'll journey far. I'm diversity, include me, and we'll reach the shining star. Coupled with inclusion, our lights burn longer. Together we are smarter, better, and stronger. And diversity, yes, that's me. Thank you.
Diversity in one city. There are many humans on this planet, not captured in a net, free to roam anywhere. All are living here and there. Some short, some long, some fair. All should be accepted everywhere. Some are not treated the same. Some get a lot of fame. Some are given a hard time. Some try hard to earn a dime. People face many problems in any place, any realm. All I know is we are all the same, no matter how we are or when we came. We have many citizens and many religions. There may be diversity, but we are one city. Let us celebrate this Independence Day, no matter what they say. Celebrate it in unity and live in peace and harmony. Thank you.
Hello friends, this is a poem that I wrote last year during a train journey to Coimbatore. I hope you like it. To be one. The beautiful smoky mountains romancing with the clouds, the vast stretches of greenery dancing to the breezy sounds, the joyful kettles aspiring to reach the grasses of the hills, and the grasses itself so lush, so dewy, and freshness filled. Being then and there itself, just being with the spree. Everybody looks so happy, everybody looks so mean. Without the hiccups of being judged, without the fears of being smudged, without the agony of past affairs, just freely flowing into its true nature. I want to be myself, I want to be with me, blossoming to the fullest, embracing everything around me. The chirping kids, bursting with joy, for whatever reason under the sky. The chattering women, laughing and enjoying, lost in their own world, creating a symphony. The hot cup of ginger tea, complementing the weather and surroundings. Everything is so lovely, everything is so me. I want to be with them, I want to be with thee. After so many years, leaving the comforts for some time, besides the sleeper coach window, looking at this flurry of life, this gush of wind, the droplets of rain, a flying crow trying to catch up with the train. I aspire to be with them, I aspire to be with thee. Everything looks so beautiful, everything looks so me. For a few days away from all bondages, away from the frills of life, away from the baggages. A break open to a free soul, a beginning to a free mind. I wish to merge into all this. I want to be my true me. The cool breeze, the blue sky, and smoky hills. I want to be one with all this. Thank you.
The universe, a heterogeneity. The universe hosts a multitude of creatures, all of diverse forms and features, each having its own idiosyncrasies, each with its own capabilities, each performing a myriad of activities, all of disparate colors, shapes, sizes. To our eyes, that's what entices. Nothing's inferior or superior, but that may be the source of conflict and fear. Every single creature has a role to play, For each of them to thrive, we shall make way. If not for these creatures, humankind wouldn't exist, for man is not the world's protagonist. From the tiniest to the largest entity, each experiences the same gravity. It's time for mankind to do away with anthropocentrism, sexism, racism, communalism, terrorism, and start embracing equalitarianism, humanitarianism, mutualism. It need not take a pandemic for us to unite. For our future generations, let us be the guiding light, the fire of humanity, it's time to ignite, that shall continue to burn day and night.
Amal and the work of her Lord. Somewhere in India, a couple was wed, bound by the words Kubul hai. A couple was wed, bound by a Mangal Sutra. A couple was wed, bound by a vow and the words I do. But Muhammad had said Kubul hai as injudiciously as he said Talak now. His eyes were set on a more valuable and beautiful prize, a younger woman. Talak, 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 he told Amal. Pronouncing the words carefully, he walked out of the hut and her life. He never looked back to think about this woman he had so unthinkingly thrown away like a rag doll. Despite Amal's name meaning hope and aspiration, she had been stripped of both when the man she had reluctantly married, hoping for a steadier life, had disavowed her for someone else. Her small world had been shattered, and she cursed her ill fate. She wept in the corner of her miserable hut with no hope or purpose left. Filled with thoughts of grief, Amal climbed up to the highest point of that tower, the tower she had visited with her husband the day they had been wed. This is where my misery began, and this is where it shall end, she said to herself angrily. Weeping, she stood at the edge of the tower and flung herself forward. But it was a second too late, for the cleaner, Shankara, held on to her arm. Frail arms but firm grip, Shankara brought Amal down and consoled her. He took her home, and his wife ushered her in as if she were her own daughter. Though Shankara's job did not offer much, it had aided him in saving many lives. Shankara and his wife, a childless couple, but blessed with children different from what one would call normal. They took in all the desolate and distressed souls who had gone up that tower to alleviate their misery. Shankara infused a new meaning into their lives, and he was the light amidst all the darkness. Amal was no different from the rest, and she lived with his children, Zakari, Iqbal, Venkat. One day, as Amal walked down the market square, she saw rows of beggars lying on the pavement. Among them, she recognized Muhammad, the man who had regarded her as inept, and was now reduced to a mere skeleton, for the beggars were all starved. She broke into a light smile, the sunshine illuminating her smooth, flawless skin. Amal knew this was fate, the work for Lord Allah. She narrated her encounter with Muhammad to Zakari, who giggled softly and thanked his Lord Jesus. Overhearing this, Shankara was gratified and thanked all his lords, Ram, Vishnu, Ishwar. But all their fates were entwined, for it was all the work of a sole Lord, the Supreme One.
ಭೀಮಸೇನ ಗಾನ ಬರೆದವರು ಎಸ್ ದಿವಾಕರ್. ಸ್ವರಾದಿರಾಜನ ದರ್ಬಾರು ಹಾಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ ವೇದಿಕೆಯಿಂದಿಳಿದು ಕಂಬಗಳ ಸುತ್ತಿ ಸುಳಿದು ಗೋಡೆಗೆ ಚಾವಣಿಗೆ ಬಡಿದು ಪುಟಿ ಪುಟಿದು ನೆಗೆದು ಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಕೂ ತಹತಹವೆಂದ ಸ್ವರ ಸಮೂಹವೊಂದನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇ ಅನುರಣಿಸಿತು. ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ ಸರೋವರದೊಳಗೊಂದು ಕಲ್ಲು ಬಿದ್ದಂತೆ, ಕಗ್ಗತ್ತಲ ಸುರಂಗದಿಂದ ದಡದಡವೆಂದು ರೈಲು ಬಂದಂತೆ, ಹದ್ದೊಂದು ಸೂಯಿ ಎಂದು ನೆಲಕ್ಕಿಳಿದಂತೆ, ರಾತ್ರಿ ನೀರವದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಲ್ಕಾಪಾತವೊಂದು ದಗ್ಗೆಂದಂತೆ. ನವಿಲು ಹಾರೀತು ರಂಬೆ ಕೊಂಬೆಯವರೆಗೆ, ಕಾರು ಓಡೀತು ವಿಲಂಬಿತ ಲಯದಲ್ಲಷ್ಟೇ ನೆಲದಲ್ಲಿ. ವಿಮಾನವಾದರೋ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾರಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದೆಷ್ಟು ನಿಧಾನ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಯಾವುದೂ ಸರಿಸಾಟಿಯಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಿನ್ನ ಆವಾಜಿಗೆ. ಅಂಗಾಂಗಗಳ ಹಾವಭಾವಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಥಾವರದ ಹಂಗು. ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಶೂನ್ಯವೆಂದರೆ ಖಾಲಿ ಎಂದು? ರಾಗದ ಏರಿಳಿತಕ್ಕೆ ಆಕ್ಟೋಪಸ್ಸಿನಂತೆ 10 ಕಡೆ ಬೀಸುವ ಕೈ, ಈಗ ಪಾರಿವಾಳದ ತಲೆಯ ಸವರುತ್ತಾ, ಈಗ ಬೆಟ್ಟದ ಮುಡಿಯ ನೇವರಿಸುತ್ತ, ಈಗ ಮೋಡದ ಎಳೆಯ ಸೆಳೆದು ಹನಿಹನಿಸುತ್ತ, ಈಗ ಸಾಗರದ ಮಹಾ ಶಾರೀರಕ್ಕೆ ಶ್ರುತಿ ಹಿಡಿಯುತ್ತ, ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದಲೇ ಗೃಹತಾರೆ ನಕ್ಷತ್ರಗಳ ಜೂಟಾಟಕ್ಕೆಳೆಯುತ್ತ, ಶ್ರುತಿಗೆ ಶ್ರುತಿ ಕೂಡಿಸಿ ಮಿಡಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವಾಗ ಅತೀತದ ನಾಡಿ, ಯಾವುದು ತಾನ್ಪುರ, ಯಾವುದು ಆವಾಜು? ಹಗುರವಾಗಿದೆ ಹೆಗಲು, ಕಳಚಿಕೊಂಡು ಲಗೇಜು. ಉಸಿರು ಬಿಗಿ ಹಿಡಿದು ತಾನಿಗೆ ತಾನು ಸೇರಿಸಿ, ಗಿರಗಿಟ್ಟಲೆ ಸುತ್ತಿಸಿದವನ ಕುಳಿತಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಗಿರಿಗಿಟ್ಟಲೆ ಸುತ್ತಿಸಿದವನೇ, ಕುಳಿತಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಕೀಲು ಕುದುರೆ ಹತ್ತಿಸಿದವನೇ, ಬತ್ತಿಸಿ ನಮ್ಮ ನೋವನ್ನು ಸಂತೋಷ ಸಂಭ್ರಮಗಳ ದೀಪ ಹೊತ್ತಿಸಿದವನೇ. ದರ್ಬಾರು ಹಾಲಿದೆ, ವೇದಿಕೆ ಇದೆ, ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಇದೆ ತಾನ್ಪುರ. ಹಾರ್ಮೋನಿಯಂ, ತಬಲ, ನಾವು ಇದ್ದೇವೆ, ಆದರೆ ನೀನೆಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಾರೋ ಬಿಡಿಸಿ ಚೆಲ್ಲುತ್ತಿರುವ ನಕ್ಷತ್ರ ಹೂವು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಡಿಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಬೀಳುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಸುಗಂಧ ಹರಡುತ್ತಿರುವ ಮನದ ನಂದನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇ ಗಂಧರ್ವರೆಂದು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಸ್ವರ್ಗ ಸ್ವರ್ಗ ಎಂದು ಹಂಬಲಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೆವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣುತ್ತದೆ.